Welcome everybody to another edition of Local Spotlight. I'm here today with Foundation Reformer Pilates. I'm really excited to introduce you to Stephanie Gadoy. She's the co-owner of this incredible Pilates studio. So Stephanie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about this beautiful studio you have?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. So this is a studio that my sister and I opened almost 2 years ago now. And we basically had done a sister trip to a family trip to Australia and just fallen in love with the exercise there. And it's not so big here, but there, literally every corner has a reformer Pilates studio because it gives you the core strength and everybody wants that for surfing. And so we fell in love with it. Our morning ritual was Pilates, smoothies on the beach, and then back to the kids to start our day.
That sounds great.
It was amazing. So we came home to Vancouver, mid-February, and there just wasn't anything like what we were doing there when we got back here. We searched high and low. We tried different kind of studios that didn't have reformers, but what we just wanted was a light, airy feeling group fitness Pilates on the reformer though, which is very hard to find. And I actually was a client at this studio before. It was owned by a lady who had it for 25 years. It looked completely different. And I would just come to classes and think about all the renovations I would do if it were mine. And I said to my husband every day, I just want to open a Pilates studio. And one day she told me she was selling it, and it just kind of felt like it all came together, and my sister and I right away jumped on it and did a renovation, opened a week later, and never looked back. Yeah.
Well, one thing I do know about you is that you're a believer in manifestation.
Yes.
So it sounds like when you were thinking about what you would want to do with the space and putting it out there, talking openly about your desire to have your own studio, it's amazing to me when I see the proof in your own life and when I see it in mine and others about being bold enough to say your dreams out loud and to be able to focus on them with a positive attitude. And look what you've got here.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
Absolutely.
What's it like running the studio with your sister? And also, just for those of you who don't know our location, we're here in Ambleside, West Vancouver. So again, what's it like running a business with your sister and to be here in West Vancouver?
Obviously, being in West Vancouver is, I think, one of the greatest places in the world. We love it. We have an ocean view, which you guys can't see right now, but we're looking at the ocean. I live a couple blocks away. My sister lives an hour away. So we do a lot of it virtually. And being sisters, we know how to communicate. We also know how to argue. But I think the different perspectives on pretty much every issue that's come up are really important. Like if it was just me doing it by myself, I wouldn't have those varying opinions. She also happens to work in HR for Lululemon. So she helps a lot with the employee side and a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, whereas I actually come here and do Pilates every single day and then get to know the clients, and I spend a lot of time with the instructors and stuff. So it's interesting. It's a different than our usual sister relationship, but it's been a huge growing experience for both of us, especially with COVID happening and all the opens and closes, and it's been an incredible experience so far.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a dream come true for a lot of people, I think, to be able to work with the ones that they love the most.
For sure.
So it's great. One of the questions I'd love to ask you, since we have mentioned Ambleside, is what is it that you're hoping to bring to the community here?
Yeah, I think mostly, especially in these times, is a place where people can come together safely, where they can get their exercise in. We know how much exercise boosts the immune system, and just really feel comfortable coming here and feel like they get that little bit of social interaction in a very safe way while they're doing something that's really good for their body. I mean, we have the seawall right there, which is another great place to do just that. But on those days when it's a bit cold or when you just want to, get in and out in an hour, it's a great place for people to just feel that like warm, loving community. And that's what we really hope to offer for people.
Well, as a client myself, I can say that is certainly something that comes through loud and clear. I think part of the mandate of, or perhaps maybe, if I could be so bold as maybe the mission statement perhaps of Foundation Reformer Pilates is about creating that loving, open community, a holistic approach to health. So I know that you walk the walk in your own life, and again, something I'm finding a lot in our local spotlight series is that a lot of the businesses that I admire the most are born from a place of inspiration and need in the owner's own life. And so to hear that you found this and then were able to create it here in your own neighborhood, I think it's fantastic. Now we have of course mentioned about safety, and you've talked about opens and closes. So tell us a little bit about how you and your sister have had to pivot with COVID, and also, as we can see here with our safety, some of the things that you've had to implement for the safety of your customers.
Yeah, so we've always been a boutique studio, which actually worked in our favor. We've never had more than 6 people in this room, and we used to have 5 in the back room. Now we just have 4. So we were always going for that really intimate boutique feel. You know, from coming to classes, you're having conversations, you're laughing, like it is like 6 girls out for dinner when you're in here, but you're actually working out at the same time. So that worked in our favor. The reformers were positioned a little bit differently, but just honestly switching the way that they were facing gives us 8 feet in between. And in the back room, we removed 1. So we've got 6 and 4. And then of course we've got our little dividers here, and every single station has their own cleaning supplies. So we just ask, it's a hospital grade cleaner. We ask that people clean before, clean after, wear masks when they're in any common area. We've spaced out the time in between classes. But other than that, we've always had kind of that smaller group. So it's, with all the opens and closes, we haven't been too stressed about having to change too much. We also did expand to have a virtual offering. So a lot of our clients have just felt really comfortable being able to still do their Pilates, not on reformer, but getting their movement in from home. And so we've offered that to all of our clients as well.
It's fantastic. I think one of the most important questions that we could ask is, why do you personally love Pilates?
Oh my goodness. So I have tried pretty much every workout under the sun, and I do love working out, but I found after I had kids that it was feeling stressful. I obviously was putting pressure on myself to lose baby weight, but I just wasn't leaving my workouts feeling really like that was the best use of my 1 hour to myself. I just wanted to sleep. And when I started doing Pilates, I enjoyed it more than anything I've ever done. I felt like I was able to put my body at ease and relax it while also strengthening it, which is kind of an oxymoron, but it really does make you feel that way. And then I started to notice the most incredible changes in my body that I've ever noticed in a short time. And so the combination of those 2 things just really meant the world to me, because I felt like I could have that hour to myself that was somewhat relaxing. I mean, you still feel your muscles burning, but I didn't feel stressed while I was doing it. And I think with the stress of having 2 babies 14 months apart, the last thing I needed in my hour to myself was more stress. So that's why I love it the most.
I think that's so true. In my 20s, I know that I really equated the amount of burn and the amount of sweat, you know, with the result that I was expecting from my workout. And again, as a newer client here, I have to say sometimes these sort of little micro or even macro movements at the time, by the last repetition, you're really feeling it. By the time you think, oh, what's this really doing? Let me tell you, the next day going up and down the stairs is unbelievable. And same as what you're saying, the results are happening so fast. And again, in a calm and soothing space, such a neutral, love-filled environment here that you can't help but come in, be able to be guilt-free about focusing on yourself, and then also get the results you're hoping for. So, okay, so Stephanie, our Park Bench website, of course, is sponsored by Jesse Dean Cook and the Next Door Real Estate Group, and you have some personal experience with working with them. Do you mind sharing with our followers a little bit about what it was like to work with Jesse?
Absolutely. Jesse, we have used for every real estate transaction that I've ever done since I was an adult who owned real estate. You know, selling our condo, selling a house, buying another house, and Jesse has absolutely blown me out of the water every single time. One of the transactions that we did was in Australia, when we were in Australia, and the amount of effort and love and care that Jesse put into us, I mean, I could say that it was because we're good friends with you guys outside of all business affairs, but I know that Jesse goes above and beyond for every one of his, I'm tearing up, every one of his clients. We are literally in our absolute dream home, in our dream neighborhood, and we owe it all to Jesse. It was near impossible that we could get to this place without him. So I owe everything to Jesse and the Next Door Real Estate Group.
You know, I think that one of the things I would love to sort of talk about is your social media, where people can find you. I know that you have a fantastic booking app. Tell us a little bit about where people can find you online.
Yeah, so in the App Store, just search Foundation Reformer Pilates. We did implement a full online system, so you can sign the waiver online, you can buy your classes online, you can book in or out of classes online. That's all done on the app or at foundationreformerpilates.com. Okay. We don't have a lovely lady sitting at the front desk right now because we are trying to minimize how many people are in here at once. So email info@foundationreformerpilates.com, and if you do want to just pop in and see the studio, we're right beside West Van Florist and we're upstairs. We're kind of hidden. There is parking in the back alley and along Marine Drive as well.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Okay, well, Stephanie, thank you so much for everything you're doing for our community here in Ambleside, for everything that you're doing in your own personal life and showing us a beautiful example. And thank you for being a part of Local Spotlight here with the Next Door Real Estate Group.
Thank you so much, Mandy.
Check out the new client special 2 weeks unlimited group classes for $80 plus tax. More information at www.foundationreformerpilates.com. You can also get their app on the Apple App Store, Foundation Reformer Pilates. Look at the beautiful view and natural light that floods this gorgeous studio. All safety precautions have been taken. If you'd like to learn more about the Nextdoor Real Estate Group, please visit us at www.thenextdoor.ca. And you can find us on Instagram at The Nextdoor Group.